Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, March.
Hold on.
Ivy,
Here.
Kate,
Here.
Monahan, Jensen,
Here.
Einsweiler, here, and Rosenthal.
Present. Okay, approval of minutes, 24-Z-2005. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting of January 10th, 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
Got a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Another second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, pending, carried. Okay, unfinished business. Item 24S-01, owner and applicant Kathleen Beza. Reading of the finding of facts for the request for a special use permit to operate an artesian studio at 301 South Dodge Street. Conclusions. Applying the regulations and the permanent performance standards of the zoning ordinance of this particular case, the following conclusions are reached. The subject property is located in a low-density residential zoning district. The applicant seeks a special use permit to allow an artesian studio land use in the low-density residential zoning district. Artesian studios are allowed only by special use in the low-density residential zoning district. Determination. Based upon the facts of this case, the Zoning Board of Appeals does find and conclude that the request by Catherine Beza for a special use permit to operate artesian studio in a low-density residential zoning district should be approved for the following reasons. One, the site plan review met the criteria for this request. Two, the request is compatible with the district standards on low-density residential district and is consistent with the defining characteristics of the district. Three, the specific standards for the districts are met. Four, complementary uses are available. Five, the request is compatible with adjoining properties through protection of privacy. The elements of the plan are designed and arranged to have a minimal negative impact on the use and enjoyment of adjoining properties. The element of the plan will coexist in a harmonious manner with the nearby existing properties. So decision in calendar number 24S-01. Therefore be resolved, the Zoning Board of Appeals has determined that this request by Catherine Beza to operate an artesian studio in the low-density residential district should be approved. I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
A motion to approve. And a second.
Second the motion?
And a second. Any discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Kate,
Yes.
Monahan. Oh, sorry. Jensen,
Yes.
Einsweiler,
Yes.
Baranski,
Yes.
Ivy,
Yes.
and Rosenthal.
Yes. Okay, let's go to the business. And this will be a public hearing. This is 24A-01. And I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I move to open the public hearing.
I have a second.
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, before we get doing anything else, anybody who's going to testify either in this case or the following one, you need to be sworn in by this young lady here.
I do not have.
Tell the truth, the whole
Just,
truth.
yeah, raise your right hand.
That's as simple as that.
Oh, is that what it
That's
is?
as simple as
Oh,
that.
You
that's not.
swear to tell the
Yeah.
truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
And then.
And that goes for 24 hours.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's what I was gonna say, but I thought that was just.
Now I get the lawyer fee.
Actually, said it your way.
Okay, and has everybody signed in that is gonna talk? Ma'am, are you speaking?
Yep, she just signed it.
Jonathan.
Yep, she did.
She did sign, perfect, okay. First case is 24A-01, owner and applicant Christine Ehlinger. Okay, thank you. Request for a map amendment to rezone the two parcels from limited agriculture to low density residential. So if you'd like to come forward, young lady, state your name and address for the record, and let us know what your request.
Yeah, Christine Ehlinger, currently living at 405 South Bench. I've recently purchased 707 Deer Street. It's a small house that hasn't been occupied for a couple of decades. But I'm currently restoring the house and it's not zoned properly. It's currently zoned as light agriculture, I believe,
Limited ag.
and it should be zoned as residential because I don't think y'all want me to bring in some pigs.
Any questions of the applicant?
Yeah, I noticed we're doing a PUD just because it's the,
PUD is the next one.
oh, I'm sorry.
This one here just,
That's her. That's her. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I have no questions.
there's how many, there isn't a whole lot of land with that property, is there?
There's, 4 lots.
4 lots?
Just under half an acre.
Okay, so it just basically runs up to the Sharp's place probably?
There is an easement for an alley, and of course, Summer Street is on the west side.
But so the, it's 4 lots in those two. It's 4 lots in those two.
Yeah, it's 2 parcels, 4
Two parcels,
old
4
cities.
lots. Okay. And you're building the garage on the,
Is that the west side?
What,
John?
the plan, she was planning on building the garage on the same parcel as the house.
oh,
Yes.
And
that's the
then
best way to
we just
describe
kind of, as we
Okay.
talked about it, we were thinking just we'll rezone both of them. Either
Okay.
she could possibly develop the other one or sell it as residential.
That's a
single-family.
great-
Is that where all the brush and the few trees are now?
it. Yeah,
It'd be nice to get that cleaned up.
that's
Right?
that's a great little house.
Saturday, we're on it.
Just volunteer,
Thanks for
pal.
volunteering.
You have a gig, don't you? I mean, I noticed that you're already starting to, looks like
Yeah.
you're starting to
Yeah,
cut it.
just power wash the limestone basement.
Yeah, that's a cool little house.
She's a gem.
Yeah.
We can't, a lot of people say they can't believe.
I can't
They
even,
drove by it for so
It's,
many years.
it's an awesome little house. It's just, but it's really nice and it's been kind of tucked back in there for
Yeah.
the
I can't
longest
remember
time.
who
You can
even
hardly,
lived in there
you can hardly
last.
see it.
She said, what, 70?
Scott Wolf, I purchased it from Scott. He
Oh,
lived in it
Scott
in
Wolf owned that.
73. He purchased it in 71 from family, and then he lived in it for 2 years, maybe 3.
It's been vacant since 73.
Yeah.
I think,
Wow.
Mrs. Halsted used to live in that house years ago. Not
That is 50 years, 51
We've
years.
got-
But she buttoned it up beautifully, so it's in really great shape.
Yeah,
I mean, considering
That's-
it's build date and it's
Yeah.
enough.
nothing short of a miracle that it's lasted that long without someone being
Right
in it.
down from Shadow Bluffs is that little house.
Mhm.
On the same side.
Yeah, same
Actually,
side, Sean.
yeah. John,
Is it Klakow? That's right.
Map.
there?
Clock house
Yeah.
right there.
Klakow is the street right to the south of it. I
There's a
guess.
house.
It'd be just east.
Just that
Right
across
off
the
between
street,
it and
that nice brick house. Okay. She's tucked. A lot of people don't notice her.
You can't see it. I mean, if you don't look, you'll,
The brush.
well, awesome.
All right, is there any questions? Any other questions? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else to speak in favor or against the request? I hear none. I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing. A second? All those in favor of closing the public hearing signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, any carried. Okay. I'll entertain a motion on 24A-01, owner and applicant request for a map amendment to the rezone 2 parcels of limited agriculture to low density residential.
Forward. I'll make a motion that we forward a positive finding to the council for this.
Okay, we got a motion to approve. There are positive finding. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
You want to read everything?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, really, and I think Jonathan said something earlier that this is probably, and number one, we rarely say that, was it in error at the time of adoption? Maybe this was, where, when we adopted this 20 some odd years ago, that maybe it should have been brought in as high density, but so yeah, one could make a case that may have been in error at the time of adoption. Has there been a change in character? Not really, but it's always been sort of a quasi borderline, residential / sort of open space area there. So I think it works very well. Is it definitely compatible with the surrounding area, which is number 3. Number 4, is it in conformance with the comprehensive plan? I would say that it is. Number 5, there's adequate public facilities. Number 6, there's adequate land. And number 7, I guess one could make the case there's a need for the in the community for the proposal.
Okay, any other discussion on it? If not, who's called the roll? Sue?
Hanson,
Yes.
Einsweiler,
Yes.
Baranski,
Yes.
Beatty,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
and Rosenthal.
Yes. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Good luck with the house.
Thanks.
24 PD-01, owner and applicant Chains and Links Incorporated, request for PUD amendment to change the zoning of two parcels of Galena Square from PUD with an underlying zoning district, planned commercial to PUD with an underlying zoning district in high density residential. So Connie, would you like to come forward and state your name and address for the record, please?
I'm Galena 2955 Red Keys Drive. This property is below Dick's or Piggly, and it's been for sale for a number of years. And just talking with the boys, we just think it might be better suited for residential. Right now, we have no development plans, but if we were to do something, it would be in a residential field, not a business. But it's going to stay for sale for now. But it just, with the apartment buildings across, I think right now, it would not be, business would not be as well suited as residential for that area. So that's why we want to change it. It's been auto oriented.
Any questions for Connie?
Just quickly, so the little lot is sort of an island by itself. It's sort of that's a separate lot, right? The one this one here,
And that landlocked one that
the
has,
landlocked one, it doesn't have any access.
has the
Right?
detention pond and stuff.
Right.
on there.
So you're just gonna consolidate that with the other lot? Is that the idea?
Well, I get two tax bills. It's part of lot 6 and part of lot 7.
Okay.
So there is two tax bills on it. But,
Is it even buildable, that lot?
well, you know. the
It looks like it's got like a ravine kind of running through it or
Yeah.
something.
I don't know if you could ever come from the top, like a
Yeah.
way and come down.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, you know, the boys too said there's a lot of utilities there. So, we thought we would ask for the zoning on both parcels, but the part of lot 6 is the one that's more suited for
Gotcha.
residential.
Anything else, Connie? Want to add?
I don't think so.
No other questions? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion.
On the motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
On the second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, if any, carried. Okay. Now I entertain a motion on the request for a PUD amendment to change the zoning of two parcels of the Galena Square from PUD with an underlying zoning district of planned commercial to PUD with an underlying zoning district of high density residential.
Guess I'll make the motion that
We have a motion to
Thank you.
Ready to do the.
positive finding.
Yeah, a positive finding to change it, yes.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Mr. Jansen did that. Who would you like to read again, Jansen?
Yeah, I'm gonna read, but so I don't know if anyone noticed, but there's this is gonna leave like a chunk down at the south, at the south end of the subdivision that's still auto oriented, but there's already a part of a building on it. Like that apartment building is built partly on that lot and partly on the high density. See, it's right here.
Yeah, according to the map.
It's actually somehow built over the property line.
But that map is accurate, because I questioned that when I saw it.
I think Jonathan decided it is. And now that lot is not really buildable. If you go down there, it's like it's ditches and whatever, but it's kind of weird that we're kind of spot zoning that spot, but I don't think it makes a difference, because if they come to us, they'd have to, whoever came to build on that would have to be a final PUD plan for that lot. And it's not really suitable at this point, really, for auto-oriented, like, the kind of things like a gas station or something with all that residential around it. So we still have the control.
Similarly to how I mentioned, we could kind of do that mass rezoning of all the inappropriate.
Can we do that on a
ag lots. We
PUD
could
too?
probably do it
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah, we might want to do
We
it.
talked about that.
But it's just so weird that there's a building that's built in two zoning designations, one in a third of the buildings on high density and 2/3 of the buildings in auto oriented. And I'm not sure how it got built over the lot, but it is.
And I believe the state's about to own that, correct? Prestwick.
Oh, yes.
So I
If they
doubt
don't
the state's
already.
gonna have any plans
Yeah.
to develop that site either. So
I'm not sure what all that means, but it sounds
But you're
good.
not talking about one of our lines.
No.
No,
No, this is the question.
we're just talking about the lots around it.
Because they're zoned the same, currently zoned the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, number one doesn't really apply in this because it was a PUD. Number two, has there been a change in character? Yeah, I think there has been more residential that's been propping up in that cul-de-sac, and so it's appropriate that this would be as well. It's number three, an idea of high density residential would be compatible with the surrounding area. Number four, I think it would most definitely be in conformance with the implementation of the goals of the comprehensive plan. We need more housing, and even affordable if it could be. And then whether public facilities are available, adequate public facilities, they are. 6, there's adequate land, and 7, I believe that there is a definite benefit to the community by doing it.
Any other discussion? If not, I don't know. Call the roll, please.
Jansen,
Yes.
Einsweiler,
Yes.
Baranski,
Yes.
Stady,
Yes.
Gates,
Yes.
and Rosenthal.
Yes. Okay, seeing no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Public comments.
Oh, that was earlier, but did anybody want to say anything?
Is that no? Not in the-
Yeah, they put it up front now.
Oh.
It's got me confused.
In 20 years.
It's my bad.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Go second.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed to panic. Carried.
Way to go.
Thank
I
you.
bet 16 minutes and 2 public hearings.
One job. One time.
Tell you what, you do a lot better job than Joe does.
I don't
Well,
know how,
think you guys
I said
out of here.
I'm 0 for 1. I don't know how he can be.
Thanks,
worse than
Colin.
that.
We'll see you.
Joe's cranky.